Becky Lynch in tears after Seth Rollins involved in ghastly car accident, WWE Universe in shock. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. It's a dark day in the world of WWE. A tragedy has struck not just the wrestling ring, but the hearts of millions around the globe. Seth Rollins, one of the most iconic superstars in WWE history, has been involved in a ghastly car accident that has left his fans, friends, and family shaken to the core. And perhaps no one is more affected than the love of his life, Becky Lynch. Today, we take you deep into the emotional aftermath of this horrifying incident, uncovering how the accident happened, what we know so far about Seth's condition, and the heartbreaking reactions from Becky Lynch and others in the WWE locker room. The incident, on a night that should have been like any other, tragedy struck just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Seth Rollins, who had just wrapped up a private training session in preparation for a rumored match at SummerSlam, was driving back to his temporary residence around 10:35 p.m. According to eyewitness reports, Rollins' vehicle, a black Escalade, was struck by a speeding SUV that ran a red light at an intersection. The impact was described as devastating, sending Rollins' car spinning into a pole before it flipped onto its side. Paramedics arrived within minutes, but what they found was grim. Seth was reportedly unconscious, bleeding, and trapped inside the wreckage. First responders had to cut through the vehicle to extract him. As the news broke across social media, confusion and fear spread like wildfire. WWE superstars, fans, and even rival promotions posted messages of hope and disbelief. But as images of the mangled car surfaced online, it was clear, this wasn't just a fender bender. It was a life-altering event. Becky Lynch's immediate reaction. Back in Orlando, Florida, Becky Lynch was finishing up a media appearance when her phone rang. It was a WWE official. What followed was described by insiders as gut-wrenching. Becky reportedly collapsed into a chair, clutching her phone with tears streaming down her face. An anonymous source close to Becky said, she kept asking if he was okay, if he was still alive. She couldn't breathe. She just started sobbing uncontrollably. Without hesitation, Becky canceled all her commitments and rushed to the airport. WWE arranged a private jet to take her to the hospital in Nashville where Seth had been transported. As she boarded the plane, photographers caught her with red, swollen eyes, her face pale, her hands trembling. She wasn't the man anymore. She was just a heartbroken wife, praying for the love of her life to survive. WWE locker room in shock. The WWE locker room was also left reeling. Superstars from Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT sent out tweets, stories, and videos praying for Seth's recovery. Triple H, WWE's chief content officer, posted, "We're all praying for Seth Rollins right now. We're doing everything in our power to support him and Becky during this unimaginable time." Roman Reigns, Rollins' former Shield brother, simply posted a broken heart emoji with the words, "Not now. Not like this." Even former rivals like Cody Rhodes sent heartfelt messages. Cody tweeted, "You never expect to hear something like this. Seth, you're one of the toughest to ever do it. You got this. Praying hard, brother." Inside sources revealed that an emergency meeting was held backstage at Raw, with producers and talent pausing all production activities to hold a moment of silence and prayer. Becky arrives at the hospital. Becky Lynch arrived at Vanderbilt University Medical Center just before 3 a.m. She was immediately escorted inside, where Seth was in surgery. Doctors said he had sustained multiple fractures, including a broken femur, cracked ribs, and significant head trauma. He was also reported to have suffered internal bleeding, which required immediate surgery. Becky stayed by his side the entire time, refusing to leave the ICU. She reportedly held his hand through the bandages, whispering through her tears, "Don't you dare leave me. I still need you." Nurses described her as emotionally wrecked but incredibly strong, often pacing the hallway or breaking down in quiet corners of the hospital. For Becky, this wasn't about a storyline. It wasn't about championships. It was about her husband, the father of her child, and whether or not she would ever see him smile again. A message to the fans. The WWE Universe waited anxiously for an update. And then, it came. At around 10 a.m. the next morning, Becky posted a short message to Instagram. It was a black screen with white text that read, "He's alive. Thank you for the prayers. We need all of them right now. Please give us time." The post instantly went viral, with over 3 million likes in under 4 hours. Fans flooded the comment section with support, prayers, and heartfelt wishes. But even with the good news, concern lingered. Would Seth recover? Would he walk again? Would he ever return to the ring? Flashback. Their love story. To truly understand Becky's heartbreak, we have to go back to the very beginning. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins' love story began quietly behind the scenes. Two elite athletes at the peak of their careers. Two individuals with fire in their hearts. But more than that, soulmates. They officially went public in 2019, and their bond quickly became one of the most cherished in WWE history. They shared moments in and out of the ring, always supporting each other, always lifting one another up. When they announced Becky's pregnancy in 2020, the WWE Universe celebrated with them. Their daughter, Rue, became the heart of their world. To see Seth in a hospital bed, broken and unconscious, it wasn't just painful. It was soul-shattering for Becky. Because this wasn't a rivalry. It wasn't a match. It was her life, her family, her world, now teetering on the edge of tragedy. Fan vigil. Outside the hospital, something incredible happened. Fans began to gather. With candles, signs, and Rollins merchandise, they created an impromptu vigil. Dozens soon became hundreds. Chants of, "Thank you, Seth," echoed into the night. One fan held a sign that read, "Burn it down doesn't mean give up. Keep fighting, King." Becky was later seen at a window overlooking the crowd. A single light flickered from her phone. Some believe she was recording, others say she was just taking it all in, emotionally overwhelmed by the outpouring of love. First signs of hope. After 48 hours of intense monitoring and surgeries, the doctors gave a cautious update. Seth Rollins had regained consciousness. Though he couldn't speak due to swelling and bandages, he reportedly squeezed Becky's hand when she whispered to him. That was all she needed. In that one squeeze, a flood of emotion broke free. Becky, surrounded by family and close friends, reportedly cried for over an hour, clinging to Seth and whispering words of love and encouragement. It was a breakthrough, a turning point, but the road to recovery would be long and uncertain. WE's response. WWE immediately issued a press release, confirming the accident and promising full support for both Becky and Seth. They announced a special tribute episode on Raw dedicated to Seth Rollins, featuring interviews from his friends, former opponents, and Becky herself, if and when she was ready. Triple H also announced that all merchandise, proceeds from Rollins' store would go directly to his medical fund and family. The wrestling world, once divided by rivalries, came together as one. AEW, NJPW, Impact Wrestling, all sent messages of support. Even CM Punk, no stranger to controversy, posted, "We might fight in the ring, but outside, we're brothers. Heal up, Seth. We're all rooting for you. Where do we go from here?" Becky has since taken an indefinite leave of absence from WWE to remain by Seth's side. She's not thinking about titles, feuds, or promos. She's thinking about